7 Little Johnstons, Anna Johnston dating a 50-year-old man? Boyfriend revealed. The reality television show The Little Couple, more commonly referred to by fans as 7 Little Johnstons, has captivated audiences for over a decade with its heartwarming portrayal of family life, resilience, and love. At the center of this beloved TLC series are Trent and Amber Johnston, a couple both living with achondroplasia, a form of dwarfism, and their 5 children, Jonah, Elizabeth, Emma, Andrew, and Alex. The show, which premiered in 2013, chronicles the everyday joys and challenges of the Johnston family as they navigate parenting, school, relationships, and personal growth. Over the years, viewers have watched the children grow from young kids into teenagers and young adults, each developing their own unique personalities and life paths. As the show has progressed, the spotlight has increasingly shifted toward the Johnston children, particularly as they enter adulthood and begin making independent decisions about their futures. Among the most talked about storylines in recent seasons has been the romantic life of Anna Johnston, though a common misconception arises here. Anna is not a member of the Johnston family. In fact, there is no Anna Johnston. The confusion likely stems from a mix-up with the names of the Johnston children, particularly Elizabeth, Emma, and Alex, who are the daughters of Trent and Amber. This error has led to a wave of online speculation, rumors, and misleading headlines claiming that Anna Johnston is dating a 50-year-old man. Given the popularity of the show and the intense public interest in the lives of reality TV families, such rumors can spread rapidly, especially on social media platforms and celebrity gossip sites. So, where did this rumor originate? The claim that Anna Johnston is dating a 50-year-old man appears to be a fabricated or mistaken narrative, possibly stemming from a misinterpretation of events involving one of the real Johnston daughters. It's important to clarify that none of the Johnston children are named Anna. The daughters are Elizabeth, born in 2004, Emma, born in 2007, and Alex, born in 2013. As of 2024, Elizabeth is 20 years old, Emma is 17, and Alex is 11. Given their ages, it is Elizabeth who is most likely to be involved in romantic relationships that would attract media attention. Elizabeth Johnston has been open about her dating life on the show and on her social media platforms. She has shared glimpses of her relationships, including her high school boyfriend, with whom she had a long-term relationship before they eventually broke up. In recent seasons, Elizabeth has been seen navigating the complexities of young love, college life, and independence. Her journey has resonated with fans, particularly young adults who see her as a relatable figure dealing with typical coming-of-age experiences, albeit under the public eye. The rumor about dating a 50-year-old man may have originated from a satirical post, a clickbait article, or a misreading of a headline involving another reality TV personality. In the age of digital misinformation, it's not uncommon for names and details to be twisted in order to generate traffic and engagement. Some websites and social media accounts thrive on sensationalism, often using the names of popular reality stars to attract clicks, even if the content is entirely false. In this case, the idea of a teenage girl from a well-known family dating a man decades her senior is inherently shocking and therefore likely to go viral, regardless of its truthfulness. It's worth noting that the Johnston family has always been protective of their children's privacy, especially when it comes to sensitive topics like relationships and mental health. Trent and Amber have consistently emphasized the importance of raising their kids with strong values, open communication, and emotional support. They have spoken openly about the challenges their children face, not only due to their dwarfism but also because of the pressures that come with growing up in the public eye. The family's approach has always been grounded in love, honesty, and a desire to normalize their experiences. In reality, Elizabeth Johnston has been linked to peers her own age. She has posted photos with boyfriends on Instagram and discussed dating on the show, always within the context of age-appropriate relationships. There has been no credible evidence or official statements suggesting that any of the Johnston children are involved with significantly older partners. In fact, the family's strong moral compass and close-knit dynamic make such a scenario highly unlikely. Moreover, the idea that a 50-year-old man would be romantically involved with a teenage member of the Johnston family not only contradicts everything the show stands for but would also be a serious legal and ethical issue. Given that the show is produced by TLC, a mainstream network that adheres to strict content guidelines, such a storyline would never be allowed to air without intense scrutiny and safeguards. The network has a responsibility to protect minors and ensure that all content is appropriate and consensual. The spread of this false rumor raises broader concerns about the way reality TV families are treated in the digital age. While fans often feel a sense of connection and familiarity with the people they watch on television, it's important to remember that these are real families with real lives. The Johnstons have welcomed viewers into their home, shared their struggles and triumphs, and done so with grace and authenticity. In return, they deserve respect and privacy, especially when it comes to their children. Another possible explanation for the confusion is a mix-up with another reality TV family. For instance, the show Little People, Big World, which follows the Roloff family, has had its own share of dating controversies and public scrutiny. Amy Roloff, a central figure on that show, began dating Chris Marek, a man close to her age, after her divorce from Matt Roloff. Their relationship, while entirely consensual and appropriate, still drew public attention and commentary. It's possible that in the swirling world of reality TV gossip, names and details from different shows get conflated, leading to misinformation. Additionally, the term Anna might be a mishearing or misspelling of Anna Marie, a name that could be loosely associated with other personalities in the Little People community. However, no such individual is connected to the Johnston family in any official capacity. The lack of any verifiable source linking Anna Johnston to the family or to a 50-year-old boyfriend further confirms that the story is unfounded. Despite the lack of truth behind the rumor, it's understandable why it gained traction. The concept of an age gap relationship, especially one involving a young person and someone significantly older, naturally sparks curiosity and concern. When such relationships do occur in the public eye, whether in celebrity circles or reality TV, they often become the subject of intense debate. Questions about power dynamics, consent, and societal norms come into play. In the case of minors or young adults, these concerns are even more pressing. However, in the case of the Johnston family, there is no evidence to suggest that any such relationship exists. On the contrary, the family has consistently promoted healthy, age-appropriate relationships for their children. Elizabeth, for example, has spoken about the importance of mutual respect, communication, and boundaries in dating. She has also emphasized the role her parents have played in guiding her through romantic relationships, offering advice and support without being overbearing. The rumor may also reflect a deeper societal anxiety about the influence of fame and media on young people. With social media making it easier than ever for teens to connect with others, sometimes across vast age gaps, there is a legitimate concern about online safety and predatory behavior. Parents and guardians are increasingly vigilant about who their children interact with online, and reality TV families are no exception. The Johnstons have addressed these issues on the show, discussing internet safety, cyberbullying, and the importance of digital literacy. In fact, one of the recurring themes of the Little Couple is the family's commitment to empowering their children to make smart, informed decisions. Whether it's choosing a college, pursuing a career, or entering a relationship, Trent and Amber encourage independence while remaining actively involved in their children's lives. This balanced approach has been praised by fans and mental health professionals alike, as it fosters confidence and responsibility in young adults. As for the future of the show, fans continue to follow the Johnston family with great interest. With Elizabeth now in college and pursuing her own path, and Emma approaching adulthood, the series is evolving to reflect the changing dynamics of the household. Andrew and Alex, the younger sons, are also growing up quickly, each bringing their own storylines to the show. The producers have indicated that the series will continue to focus on the family's journey, highlighting both the ordinary and extraordinary aspects of their lives. In conclusion, the claim that Anna Johnston is dating a 50-year-old man is entirely false. There is no Anna Johnston in the family, and none of the Johnston children are involved in inappropriate or age-disparate relationships. The rumor appears to be a product of misinformation, possibly fueled by clickbait websites and social media speculation. The real story is far more positive, a close-knit family navigating life with love, humor, and integrity. The Johnston family's legacy on the little couple is one of resilience, authenticity, and hope. They have used their platform to educate the public about dwarfism, promote inclusivity, and show that happiness and success come in all sizes. As fans continue to support the family, it's important to do so with respect and accuracy, avoiding the spread of false narratives that can harm reputations and distort reality. In an era where information spreads faster than ever, critical thinking and fact-checking are essential. Before sharing a headline or believing a rumor, it's worth asking, is this credible? Is it respectful? Does it align with what we know about the people involved? In the case of the 7 Little Johnstons, the answer is clear: the family remains a beacon of positivity, and any story that contradicts that image is likely not worth believing. As the show continues to air new episodes and the Johnston children grow into adulthood, fans can look forward to more heartfelt moments, personal growth, and the enduring power of family. And while the internet may buzz with rumors and speculation, the truth remains grounded in the values that Trent, Amber, and their children have always stood for: love, honesty, and living life to the fullest, no matter your height. For those who follow the Johnston family, the best way to stay informed is through official channels, the TLC network, the family's verified social media accounts, and interviews with the cast members themselves. These sources provide accurate, respectful, and meaningful insights into the lives of a family that has touched millions with their story. 7 Little Johnstons. What happened to Trent Johnston's father, Poppy? Tragic details. The reality television series 7 Little Johnstons, which airs on TLC, has captivated audiences since its debut in 2015. The show follows the lives of Trent and Amber Johnston and their 5 children, Jonah, Elizabeth, Anna, Alex, and Emma, as they navigate the challenges and triumphs of living with dwarfism in a world built for average-height individuals. The family's authenticity, humor, and resilience have made them fan favorites. However, one question that has lingered among viewers over the years is, what happened to Trent Johnston's father, affectionately known as Poppy? Poppy, whose full name was Robert Bob Johnston, was a beloved figure in Trent's life and an integral part of the family's early story. Though he never appeared on the show, his influence and legacy are deeply felt. Tragically, Poppy passed away in 2013, 2 years before the premiere of 7 Little Johnstons, after a long and difficult battle with cancer. His death was a profound loss for Trent and the entire Johnston family, and while the show doesn't often delve into the details, the emotional impact of his passing continues to resonate. Robert Johnston, affectionately called Poppy by his grandchildren, was born in Texas and lived most of his life in Burleson, a small city near Fort Worth. He was a hard-working man, known for his dedication to his family and his strong moral compass. Poppy worked in construction and was described by Trent as a man of few words but deep integrity. He wasn't one to seek the spotlight, but his presence was felt in every decision he made for his family. Poppy and his wife, Mary Johnston, referred to as Mama by the kids, raised Trent and his siblings in a modest but loving home. Though dwarfism runs in the Johnston family, Trent and several of his relatives are affected by achondroplasia. Poppy himself was of average height. Despite this, he fully embraced and supported his son's journey, never treating Trent's condition as a limitation. In fact, he encouraged Trent to be independent, self-reliant, and proud of who he was. Trent has often spoken about how his father instilled in him the values of perseverance and responsibility. Poppy taught me to work hard, take care of my family, and never let anything hold me back, Trent once shared in an interview. These lessons would later become foundational to the way Trent raised his own children on the show. Dwarfism, specifically achondroplasia, is a genetic condition that affects bone growth and results in shorter stature. It is inherited in an autosomal dominant pattern, meaning only one parent needs to carry the gene for a child to be affected. In Trent's case, he inherited the condition from his mother, Mama, who also has dwarfism. Poppy, though average in height, fully supported his wife and son, never allowing societal perceptions or physical differences to define their family's identity. Growing up in a small Texas town in the 1970s and 80s, Trent faced his share of challenges, bullying, stares, and misconceptions about his abilities. But Poppy was a steady presence, teaching Trent how to respond with confidence and dignity. Whether it was helping Trent modify a vehicle to fit his height or standing up for him when others were unkind, Poppy made it clear that his son was capable of achieving anything he set his mind to. This upbringing played a crucial role in shaping Trent into the man he is today, a devoted father, a skilled mechanic, and a proactive advocate for accessibility and inclusion. The values Poppy instilled in Trent are evident throughout Little Johnstons, especially in how Trent supports his children through their own surgeries, school challenges, and social hurdles. In the early 2000s, Poppy began experiencing health issues. At first, they seemed minor: fatigue, weight loss, and persistent pain. But after several doctor visits and tests, he was diagnosed with cancer. The exact type of cancer has not been publicly disclosed by the family, but sources close to the Johnstons suggest it may have been lung or pancreatic cancer, both of which are aggressive and difficult to treat. Trent was by his father's side throughout the illness. At the time, Trent was building his career as an automotive technician and raising his young family with Amber. Balancing work, fatherhood, and caring for his dying father was an immense emotional and physical burden. Yet, Trent has said that being able to support Poppy during his final years was one of the most important things he's ever done. The cancer progressed rapidly. Despite undergoing chemotherapy and other treatments, Poppy's health declined. The family rallied around him, with Mama providing constant care and the grandchildren visiting as often as possible. Even though the kids were young at the time, Trent made sure they understood the seriousness of the situation and encouraged them to spend time with their Poppy. In 2013, after a prolonged and painful battle, Robert "Poppy" Johnston passed away at the age of 68. His death left a void in the Johnston family that could never be filled. Trent has described the grief as overwhelming. "Losing Poppy was one of the hardest things I've ever gone through," he admitted in a rare personal post on social media. "He was my rock. My biggest supporter. And even though I'm a dad now, I still miss having a dad of my own." Poppy's death came just 2 years before Little Johnstons premiered on TLC. The timing meant that the show began with Trent already grieving and adjusting to life without his father. While the series focuses primarily on the present-day lives of the family, subtle references to Poppy have surfaced over the seasons. In one episode, Trent is seen visiting his parents' home and speaking fondly of his childhood. He points to a photo on the wall, of him and Poppy working on a car together, and shares a story about how his father taught him to change a tire when he was just 12 years old. The moment is quiet but powerful, revealing how much Poppy's lessons still guide Trent. Amber, too, has spoken about the impact of Poppy's absence. "Trent doesn't talk about his dad a lot, but I know he thinks about him every day," she said in an interview. "He tries to live the way Poppy raised him, honest, hardworking, and always putting family first." The children, especially Jonah and Elizabeth, who were old enough to remember Poppy, occasionally mention him. Emma, the youngest, never met her grandfather, but she has grown up hearing stories about him. "Poppy sounds like a hero," she once said during a family dinner scene on the show. The comment brought tears to Trent's eyes, a rare moment of vulnerability captured on camera. Though Poppy never appeared on Little Johnstons, his legacy lives on in countless ways. His influence can be seen in Trent's parenting style, firm but loving, practical but compassionate. It's evident in the way Trent handles challenges, from home repairs to emotional conversations with his kids. Poppy's values are woven into the fabric of the family's daily life. One of the most enduring symbols of Poppy's legacy is the Johnston family home in Burleson. The house, where Trent grew up and where Mama still lives, has been featured in several episodes. It's a place filled with memories of holidays, family dinners, and quiet afternoons on the porch. Trent often takes his children there to visit Mama, ensuring that they stay connected to their roots and their history. The family also honors Poppy during special occasions. On Father's Day, Trent sometimes visits Poppy's grave, placing flowers and sharing updates about the kids. "I tell him about all the things he'd be proud of," Trent said in a behind-the-scenes clip. "I know he's watching over us." In a broader sense, Poppy's life reflects a quiet kind of heroism, the kind that doesn't make headlines but shapes generations. He wasn't famous or wealthy, but he raised a son who would go on to inspire millions through a reality TV show about love, resilience, and overcoming adversity. In that way, Poppy's impact extends far beyond his immediate family. Despite the show's popularity, the Johnstons have chosen to keep the details of Poppy's illness and death relatively private. There are no dedicated episodes about him, and the family rarely discusses the specifics of his passing in interviews. This decision reflects their desire to honor his memory without turning grief into entertainment. Trent has explained that while he's open about many aspects of his life, his father's death is deeply personal. "Poppy wasn't a public figure," he said. "He lived a private life, and I want to respect that. But I also want people to know what an amazing man he was." This restraint has earned the family respect from fans, many of whom appreciate that the show doesn't exploit personal tragedy for drama. Instead, the Johnstons focus on celebrating life, progress, and togetherness, values that Poppy embodied. Grief is a recurring theme in Seven Little Johnstons, though it's often expressed subtly. The family has faced numerous challenges: surgeries, social isolation, financial strain, and the pressures of public life. Through it all, the absence of Poppy serves as a quiet undercurrent, a reminder of the loved ones who are no longer physically present but remain emotionally close. Trent's journey as a father is, in many ways, shaped by his desire to be the kind of dad Poppy was to him. He pushes his children to be independent, just as Poppy encouraged him. He teaches them practical skills, like driving and home maintenance, knowing how important those lessons were in his own life. And when the kids face setbacks, Trent offers the same calm, steady support that Poppy once gave him. In a poignant moment from Season 8, Trent helps Jonah prepare for his driver's license test. As they practice parallel parking, Trent shares a story about how Poppy taught him to drive. "He didn't baby me," Trent says. "He said, 'You're no different than anyone else. You just have to figure out how.'" The moment is a powerful tribute to Poppy's enduring influence. Poppy may not be a character on Seven Little Johnstons, but his presence is felt in every episode. From the values the family upholds to the way they face adversity, his legacy is alive in their actions. He may not have lived to see the show's success or meet all his great-grandchildren, as Jonah and Elizabeth have started families of their own in recent seasons, but there's no doubt he would be proud. The story of Poppy Johnston is a reminder that heroes don't always wear capes or appear on television. Sometimes, they're the quiet men and women who raise their children with love, work hard every day, and leave behind a legacy of strength and integrity. For Trent Johnston and his family, Poppy was exactly that, a guiding light, a source of strength, and a man whose memory continues to shape their lives. As the Seven Little Johnstons continue to grow and evolve, one thing remains constant: the values passed down from one generation to the next. And at the heart of those values is a man named Robert Poppy Johnston, a man who may have lived a quiet life, but whose impact will echo for years to come. The tragic story of Poppy Johnston is not one of sorrow alone, but of love, resilience, and enduring influence. His battle with cancer and his passing in 2013 marked a turning point in Trent's life, deepening his sense of responsibility and strengthening his commitment to family. Though he never appeared on the show, Poppy's spirit is woven into the very foundation of Seven Little Johnstons. Fans of the series may never see footage of Poppy or hear detailed accounts of his final days, but they can feel his presence in the way Trent leads, loves, and lives. In honoring his father's memory, Trent ensures that Poppy's legacy of hard work, unconditional support, and quiet strength lives on in the hearts of his children and grandchildren.